Hello and welcome to ALW Exploration. Today we're at the former RAF Laarbruch in Germany. During the 1970s in the Cold War I was stationed here with the RAF Regiment. I believe that just round the corner is the old Command Operations Centre, a Cold War nuclear bunker that we may be able to get into. Let's go. Whoa. East Germany. This was a photographic developing intelligence box.
So if you look through there, you can see the start of what was known as the COC, Command Operations Centre. This was a bunker where the commanding officers from the NATO forces would have grouped together their expertise. It's the entrance to the COC bunker, blast wall arrangement. You can see the lights had a shroud on them, so the light didn't shine up. The bunker door is open. You can see on the door there used to be a little shutter over the window, and the big door handles that would have been on here. So in we go to the COC bunker. You can see some of the electrics here been removed.
They would have kept files here that says SIV can reduce the light. It's over admin battle 58 squadron, 26 squadron, 58 squadron was RAF regiment, and they were a field squadron. Pretty much like the role of the army, but in the defence and of the airfield. 50 field, they were rail engineers. 26 squadron was a RAF regiment squadron rapier.
This room looks like it was a server room, because it's got the ventilation in the corner and the lighting, and it's got dark room lighting too. Here we've got a briefing room. There's been a raised stage area there.
And there's another one for 26 squadron, so that's where the anything pertaining those squadrons would have been stored on those shelves.
Here, now this is a analog 35mm photo development room. Got the drainage on the floor for the liquids, and I've got the concertina bath area for developing the photographs and the remnants of the chemicals that we used to develop photo film. And if we look, I've got shells for the photographs on the development. Poland. So the reconnaissance aircraft flying over these countries, they've been flying over these countries, Poland, East Germany, that's JE, so East Germany. So we've got East Germany again. And finally another section for East Germany. It looks like there's been a BCF Halon fire extinguisher there.
Yeah, would have been a sinking set there by the looks of it. And that would have been for the different chemical baths for developing the photos.
Yes. Still smells of the photo development liquids. We've got the ventilation in the corner.
There's the red tube.
Ah, yes. Because you couldn't have natural light on because it'd ruin it. It'd overexpose everything, wouldn't it?
Yes, it kills the negatives till they're fixed and developed. So they used to use a red light, and it wouldn't destroy the unexposed photographs.
Because this is what was called a dark room.
Yeah.
They called it a dark room or a photo development room. So this would have been for the dark room light, maybe?
Yeah.
Or that's luminescent so they could see the light switch.
Labels of photographs from different areas. Poland, Germany E.
It's amazing to see.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
This is full-on Cold War reconnaissance development. So these photographs will have been absolutely paramount. You see the windows have been painted black so no light comes in.
So looking at this on the floor, somebody's ripped this off the wall. This is where the coaxes would have connected for the radios, and you can see they've wrote on the numbered for which antenna it went to. There's 50 squadron, so that would have been the radio connection, and then other squadrons. There's 16 squadron, can't read what that says. 26 squadrons there.
Yeah.
Second one down, that's the squadron I were on, 26.
So communications to your squadron would have come through that back.
Yep, and it looks like that was fastened on the wall there.
Yeah.
Somebody's kicked it off. Look at that, maybe.
This also looks like it was used in the dark because all the windows are painted black.
All the windows are painted black, yeah.
Yeah, they painted them all out. And some of the walls are painted black in here as well.
Yeah, well, this is like a fibre board, and there's a concealed light up at the top there. The fitting's gone, but it's the backing of a fluorescent light.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that maybe they would pin photos to this, and they could illuminate them.
Studying photographs of enemy locations within this room.
This is another one. The lights are intact up there.
They indeed are, yes. Wow. We're in a Cold War command bunker, Dave.
Yeah. In Germany. Unreal.
So this has been restricted access within the bunker because it's got a spy hole and big locks on it. Is that a steel door?
It is steel door, yeah. But you see, if this was where they developed the photographs and did the photographic interpretation,
Yeah.
then not everybody was allowed to view all that. It was restricted material. Classified. Even.
Classified. Just notice the door's got an extra lip on it as well to stop any light getting in.
Yeah.
So the door goes in the frame and there's extra to stop, to give it 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree to stop any light coming through.
Right. So this looks like it was the ops and planning room. There would have been desks here. Yes. And I think on that wall there would have been boards with the states of what was going on.
The information.
That looks like it had a screen in there.
So this is back in the 70s and 80s, isn't it? There wasn't LCD flat screens back then, it was illuminated black boards. Yeah. They used to back illuminate everything on projectors, and yeah, there's parts of the ceiling missing where they've had OHPs, overhead projectors. And then this is ground off CDR, so ground off and commander. An air cell.
Essential services, so you've got water.
So ground off and commander. Air cell.
Essential services, so you've got water and drains, cable, main voltage cable, high voltage cable, fault line, mech, ECC, F&M.
This is where it was all controlled from. Any attack would have been dealt with in here, and any operation was controlled from within this room, from within this bunker.
We've got here, it's been taped over, but that was where the ground defence commander would have sat.
It's not off, it's DFF, ground defence commander.
So the ground defence commander would have been in charge of the surface to air missiles, and also the actual people in the bunkers, down in the pillboxes around the perimeter of the airfield, defending the airfield. He would be in charge of that. There's another one here, I might have to move this board to see it. I don't know what that says. We can see if we can peel it off, because these have been taped over.
See that?
See if we can peel the tape off.
Stick into my glove box. Passive Defence Commander. Passive Defence Commander.
Ground Defence Advisor.
So we've got Ground Defence Advisor, Passive Defence Advisor, that's electronic warfare.
Yep.
So that's jamming radars, blocking their radio communications. They being the Russians. Because this was fighting the Cold War. Ground Defence Commander. An air cell. I dare say there would have been another one here, but someone smashed the window and it's there. So let's see what this sticker says, Dave. Other side of there. No, destroyed.
Unfortunately.
That part of history has been lost, sadly. If you know, if you worked in this bunker, please get in touch. Leave a comment. If you worked at RAF Laarbruch during the Cold War, please leave a comment.
So, players number 6. That's the brand of cigarette I used to smoke in the 1970s. So I don't think there'll be a date on it, but that's definitely from there. Government health warning. Smoking can seriously damage your health.
NAFI stores for HM forces, the NAFI cigarettes.
That's the real McCoy.
Let's try and focus on that. Got it, yeah. Can you see that, viewers? NAFI stores for HM forces. They're called DFs, duty-free cigarettes. They were much, much cheaper than the standard price cigarettes in the shops.
Yeah.
So this is power and communications out of one socket outlet.
Right, well that door is locked. I'm not climbing through the window.
No.
I think we can
there's another way around.
Get in from the other side.
So on the main corridor. It's so sad that idiots have been in here smashing this up. I mean, this is real Cold War history. So this is the commanding officers area. Let's watch the hole. So this would have had early computers, because we've got the culverts in the floor for the cabling, and then through this window, this is where the senior officers would have looked through, or the observers would have looked through to this room here, and that is the command and control room for NATO forces at Royal Air Force Laarbruch. You can tell how many people used to smoke because there's constant reminders of smoking packages, and there's extractor fans everywhere.
This looks like the telecommunications room.
Yes, that is a Telex.
All the conduits going under the ground there, they would lead off to all sorts of places. Everywhere all over the airfield,
Yes.
those pipes would lead to.
You can see some 1980s upgrades here, because this is early fibre optic cabling. That's early fibre optic from when that was new in, a new thing. And the metal thieves have left it because there is no copper within fibre optic. It's just plastic. Yeah, and the big incoming cables have all been chopped off.
It's just a little room, possibly a storeroom or something.
Yeah, telecoms, spares. Yeah, this is a fibre optic junction box.
Yeah. At the advent of fibre optics.
Yeah, that is early days fibre.
And that would have been cutting edge in those days because it was military.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been available in civilian areas
No.
at all.
There'll still be some of that in service at active Royal Air Force stations, because it would have been fitted and just never modernised because it was fast enough. It's British Telecom logo there. The 1980s British Telecom logo. Again, another steel door with entry hatch. So once you're in the bunker, you didn't have a free rein. You could only go in certain parts that you were allowed in. It's like the algorithm on the front for doing the dial that would have been on here that's been removed. And that has been a big safe.
So a big safe like that, I would think that would probably where they keep all the codes. Yeah, when we used to communicate on the radio, everything had to be encrypted. So you should transpose it into a code, and then you transmit the code on shortwave radio, and then you'd have to decode it at the other end. The codes were changed on a daily basis. They could change them hourly if they wanted. And at the beginning of the day, they used to send you which cipher you was going to use for the coding. So you'd look up that cipher in your index, and you would use that particular encryption to code and to encode and decode messages that you were sending and receiving.
This was just every communication was done like that.
Every communication was
Everything
done
was
like
cryptographed.
There were communications which didn't need to be encrypted. If the airfield was under attack, the long-range radar would pick that up, and the primary defence was blow-down missiles. So they had there was a medium-range missile, and then 26 Squadron, we were Rapier, which was a short-range missile. And if we picked up low-flying aircraft that had tried to get under the radar, then we could inform the command centre by saying rats, 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 and that alerted the command centre that there was incoming aircraft that had been detected, and then they would issue a command state, which would be air attack red, weapons free, MBC black. So air attack red would mean that there was an air attack imminent happening. Weapons free, you could engage any enemy aircraft. And MBC black would be, you'd suspect that they were possibly using chemical weapons, so you would have to don your respirator and all protective equipment, nuclear, biological suits, and then, you know, you could engage the targets.
And that was the real Cold War, day to day. It
Yeah.
could start from having a schnitzel to the Third World War.
Yeah, being stood in a slit trench somewhere, yeah.
So, we've got the Royal Air Force blue carpet, more telecoms behind that door.
Yeah, this like a little. Yeah, this looks like a little set of switches here that look like telecom related. Little bank of switches.
It does, yeah, the proper like 1970s switches, toggle switches.
A lot of Corpex trunking, so I'm guessing that there would have been a lot of communication stuff in here.
Blacked out window again.
Blacked out window, and you see how the bars have been cut away here? And there's actually a, look, there's a hatch in the window there. So, there we go. So people could pass things through the hatch without having to enter the bunker.
Probably the codes that you were just talking about, the crypto codes.
Or if this was a photographic interpretation bunker, the cassettes containing the photographs from the aircraft, they were being sent here, passed through that window, and then possibly through that hatch in that door onto the photo lab, and then they could develop them.
Straight through into the photo lab room.
Yeah.
Then in here,
This looks like it was a plant room. Aircon.
yes, there's a lot of, yeah, that's a fan motor.
That would have been the evaporator. Coil would have sat on there for the air conditioning.
Drawn air in there, cooled it. That is the drain pipe, that green hose there is a drain pipe. So that's been a cooler, and then it's gone off through bag filters and off into the bunker. Mints cigarettes.
Yeah.
Mints.
So they're Russian. So
We've got Russian cigarettes in a NATO bunker.
I don't know whether they're period or whether that's somebody from Russia who's come over here exploring and discarded the empty packet. I would guess so. Unless you could get hold of them in the... I didn't smoke them. I've never seen the packet before.
It's a bit uncouth in the Cold War to smoke Russian cigarettes.
Yeah.
You get taken off to the guard room and questioned.
Are you a spy?
Yeah.
You see, there are various bunkers on this site, and there were on all NATO sites. Unless you were involved in that particular bunker, you never knew about any of the others. It was need to know basis. When you're in the forces, you didn't ask questions, you just did as you were told.
You did your bit.
We did
at
our
work.
bit. Yeah.
Did your training, did your eating, then you went to the bar.
To the bar.
It was pretty standardised, wasn't it?
Yeah. This should be luminous paint.
Yes. Just cover your light up a moment. We'll see if that still glows in the dark. Ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, it does. All still glows in the dark. And the spooky door behind us is closing really slowly. I didn't pull that shut by itself.
So, and the idea behind the luminous paint was you come out of a door, which is depicted by this arrow, and then there's an arrow pointing to which where the exits were, so that if the power went off and it was in total darkness, you could get out.
Yeah, And then that's low down for smoke-filled rooms. So if this was smoke-filled, you're crawling down on the floor, you're crawling out the room, you're crawling up, you can see that, and it'll be dark, full of smoke, and you know the way out is that way, and the way to freedom. So we're just going back out of the bunker now. We're going to have a walk around the outside. Just interestingly here, you can see where there used to be writing on this door. There's been some more of the luminous tape, and this is where the big door handles would have been to seal this bunker up. This is a tour of the outside. We can see the windows that have been blacked out with paint. Around here we've got Dave.
Just looking at these trees, I mean, obviously they weren't there when the air base was here, but they haven't taken long to take over, have they? Just shows how nature takes over.
It certainly does. And it shows how late in the... because that is quite a modern Toshiba air conditioning unit.
There would have been another one there, but it looks of it. It's been stolen.
Yeah, the outdoor unit's been taken from where the paint's missing.
This is where the evaporators were on this room inside.
In that indoor plant room, yes. Yeah. Keep watching because there is another plant room round the side, and it's got all the it's like a big air treatment unit, and that was used to, it was like a big gas mask for a full building to get all the nuclear, biological and chemical defence out of the air. Here we've got a doorbell. That's to ring, for then the operative inside can open this hatch, and then he can pass what we believe is the cartridges from reconnaissance aircraft in there for photo development. That's what that button would have been for, to alert them that there was someone here with a cartridge for developing. You can still see the battlefield green on the blast wall and the building itself to help it all blend in with its surroundings, because for an Air Force base there are a lot of trees here.
There are a lot, yeah.
So we're at the back of the bunker now, and this is the back of the command cell. Now up ahead, see the green door that's open? That is the plant room. So we're going to have a look in there.
It is worthy of note that RAF Laarbruch is now Weeze Airport, and this bunker is within the security boundary. These are restricted and policed areas.
Cooling. We've got Ein. House.
And it's all in German for a NATO plant room.
It is in German, isn't it?
Yeah, why?
But this is looks old. I wonder if this has been repurposed from somewhere else.
Wow.
Because some of the equipment within NATO bases was taken from German bases at the end of the Second World War, because there was a shortage of metals.
Right. Let me just...
Are you going in, Dave?
And the reason why is... There's the filter bank. Somebody's tipped it up, and this is activated charcoal.
It is.
And that activated charcoal removes the poisons from the air being drawn through it. That looks like it was an addition, because it's got this flexi duct.
Trying to get my legs in.
Let me put this back together.
Yeah, sure. Just getting in. See this blue material here, that's filter membrane. That's not nuclear stuff, that's just for getting rid of dust. And that's one for the my German friends who can read that. That is a filter bank there. That's a differential pressure gauge for the filter. So when the filter was blocked, the differential pressure would increase.
So you can see this, I don't know if you can get your camera in there, but this arrangement in here has got water jets in. So the air would be drawn in and there would have been a fine mist of water, and that water would attach itself to the chemical droplets and it would fall down into the tray at the bottom. And that would be a pre-treatment, getting the contaminants out of the air. And then it will go through the activated as a secondary measure.
But we've got heating or cooling. If there must have been externally a chilled water plant, because there isn't a chilled water plant in here. Well, this is just air treatment.
Most RAF bases have a central plant, and then you'll have a network of pipeworks in ducted tunnels that service the whole of the station, and they just circulate the heating and cooling through pipes in this ductwork, and it goes to various buildings all over.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Andy from ALW Exploration.
And I'm Dave from ALW Exploration.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to, check out the members section, which is 99p a month. If you don't want to pay that, just subscribe to the channel and that will always be free. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.
Looking over my shoulder, looking back at your door. In my head it goes over and over. Should I leave or want it more? Looking